Everybody wants heaven, but they live in lying hell. Got the whole church judging you, hoping that you fail. How you gonna win the war if nobody wanna help? But it ain't easy trying to fight the devil yourself. Who you gonna call?
3, 2, 1, action!
Previously on Preachers Reunion Part 1.
So
I just carry a 9 though.
why did Jesus have a problem with Peter cutting the man's ear off?
Because Peter was too impetuous. Mr. Augustine.
No, what
said,
did he say to him?
He says, I came.
By the sword, you die by
That's
the sword.
exactly what he
Said
told
if you
him.
live by the sword,
Right.
you'll die by the sword.
And that's what Peter was living
If
by.
you live by that gun,
I don't live by, I protect
gonna
my
die
wife.
by
Oh,
that
don't
gun.
speak that, Bishop.
I bet that lady would have
Don't
come.
speak that in that.
It's
Okay,
why
you
you
hire
speak.
security.
I'm right in the
You
context.
snatch the words out the
You
atmosphere.
hire security.
I'm not going to let you drag me into this, Bishop
Yeah,
Jones.
Bishop.
That's actually taking advantage of the Second Amendment.
Now we're jumping from the Bible to
To the
the
second,
Constitution.
yeah.
Why you guys worry about me?
I have a gun by my bed.
They jumped on your wife.
And I
You
have
should have had a gun then.
I have a gun by. No, I wasn't firing.
They jumped on your wife.
In the church service?
You should have made them shout and dance, dance.
In the church?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, in the church.
Ain't no way.
In the
All
church.
right, First Lady Levette. What have you been up to? What's going on in the church? What's happening? What's going on in your world? Because I know a lot goes on in your world.
I'm really doing well. The church is doing well. We are recovering from the COVID pandemic, and people are just becoming more and more comfortable, coming back to church in person. Yeah. And it's a blessing. And we didn't just try, once we reopened, we didn't just try to put everything back in place that we did before COVID, but we're just kind of experiencing a new growth and a new setting up. And I do with my husband, because he's a really wonderful pastor. He's very dedicated. Sometimes he doesn't let y'all see that side, but he is a really, really dedicated. But what I do with him, I let him be him. And my concerns, I really deal with them on my knees. Because that's about
I really have a lot of concerns.
That's how you
You know what I'm saying?
Take it to the Lord in prayer.
What you say?
Take it to the Lord in prayer.
She doesn't have that many concerns.
We've been
I let her be
married,
her.
it'll be
I don't break her
42
You said I
years.
deal with him on my knees. Please tell me what that
Kim,
means.
I let her be her.
She's praying for him.
Oh,
I let her
praying.
be her
See,
like Bishop Jones let Loretta be
that was
Loretta.
nothing but- That was wrong.
We let our wives be our wives.
Praying. I forgot about that praying. Y'all know y'all a little judgy, right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
She said, oh.
What she mean by that, Loretta?
Okay, why'd you respond like that?
No, what she mean by we judgy, Loretta?
Well, your personality is quite judgmental.
Judgment, how would you define it? How am I judgy?
Okay, wait, let her
Give me a
answer. There she
scenario.
go.
Honestly, on the real tip.
Well, 10
She
years
says I'm a little
ago,
judgy.
if we want to go take it to the past,
Right.
maybe you've changed, maybe God has spoken to your heart, and maybe you see things from a different
You guys are
perspective.
listening to you. How am I judgy?
You talk about things you don't have all the facts about.
Such as?
Everything.
Such as you wanted to marry him? You told me you wanted to marry him? That's not factual?
Me telling you wanting to and him telling you when the time is two different stories. So you still don't have all the facts.
Tag me, sis. Tag
But how's
me.
that
Tag me.
judgy?
So you still don't have all the facts.
see,
And I
see,
understand
see.
from the outside looking in.
Right.
We just decided not to tell the world
But how am I judgy,
everything.
Because I was trying to rush something, seemingly?
You weren't trying to rush anything. You were trying to talk about something.
But what you didn't know was we were married before the ceremony.
Boom! Oh, no, I knew that, bro. Brother, I knew that. That ain't rocket science. That's why I brought the Cracker Jack box. This bishop has the audacity to propose to his beautiful bride with a Cracker Jack box.
Well, do you know the myth behind the Cracker Jack box?
I do know the myth behind
What
the
was the
Cracker
myth
Jack
behind the
box.
Cracker Jack? Why did he propose with a Cracker Jack box?
Because it was a joke.
Yeah,
was a
and
joke.
I'll tell you this.
Am I saying right?
When you see it, as a child growing up, we had Cracker Jack boxes, right? And inside of the Cracker Jack box, there are prizes. And Noel thought that he would tell the world that he was going to marry me and bring the ring out of the Cracker Jack box. The people didn't understand. Noel is the kind of person, if he thinks something is too expensive, something is too elaborate, he wanted to downplay the size of the ring, and he also wanted to make it fun. That's a part of his personality. But the media caught wind of it and just took it to another level. It was cheesy. I loved it. And if you thought it was cheesy, he wasn't proposing to you, he proposed to me. Right. So I respect it, I loved it, and I was honored that he did it that way.
Most people aren't well read, and most people can't mix 2 or 3 things together and make fun out of it. And yes, synthesis.
I understood it.
And so the whole
they
Cracker
didn't
Jack box
understand
was, here comes a ring out of the Cracker Jack box, and if you see the ring
is valuable.
You wouldn't even be thinking about a Cracker Jack box.
It was society. He wanted to downplay it, and he doesn't like people to feel bad. He just thought if I downplay it, it will come across as something simple. But it didn't come across. It didn't translate the way he thought it would translate. But for me, it was perfect. But for the world, they were offended.
If our friends and the people that we love would talk up for us with just a modicum, well, you don't like that word.
They will not.
But just a modicum of enthusiasm.
Yes.
But your enemies are so loud that they say everybody's talking. It ain't everybody talking. It's just 2 or 3 envious people.
Why are there so many people invested in you two about your marriage?
Because they're nosy. And I'm finding now church people don't have any boundaries. They think they're entitled to know your sex life. They think they're entitled to know if you had sex before you got married. They think they're entitled to know what you do, when you do, how you do. You're not entitled to my life. You're not entitled to my personal business. You're not entitled to that. We come, we serve, we do our ministry, we go home. That's what you're entitled to. When I'm there, I'm serving you. When I get home, I serve myself and my husband.
Well, one thing I've always wanted to know, First Ladies. First of all, it's interesting because before you got married, you were just Lavette and Loretta. Now you have a title that people, does it kind of make you feel a little like royalty a little bit?
No.
No, just regular, huh?
You're just regular. You just come to church, and if you're a part of the ministry, you get your hands dirty. You're a part of it.
But everyone's eyes are on you constantly. Don't you feel like you have to dress a certain way? You have to talk a certain way?
You know what? Definitely you don't feel, when you have the right perspective, you don't feel royalty. But I am extremely opinionated. I'm a very independent thinker, and I think out of the box. And to oftentimes bring that in and make sure that I don't, overstep my husband or try to present myself as though I'm usurping authority over him. That's probably my greatest challenge because my personality, my natural personality is to be out there.
So the hardest part of
That's probably my greatest challenge.
So the greatest challenge to you then is making sure he's pleased.
No. I just, because I'm, because I'm a woman of the word, I know what the word says and I know what I'm supposed to. So my inclination. What does the
word say?
My inclination is to speak up.
You know what it says about what?
In terms of pleasing and that I'm to be submitted.
So you answered my question. That the greatest challenge you have is to say subject to him.
You said to please him.
If you were getting on a jet, and you're going from, say, New York to L.A.
Yes.
And both of you walk on the jet, and there was only one first class seat, and somebody had to go to coach, somebody had to sit in first.
Okay.
How would you arrange that?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Brother, if I was on a desert island and it wasn't nothing but a box of peanuts.
No, I didn't ask you
that. Do you think I'm giving her a whole box of peanuts?
you would go first class
I would
and
go
put your
first
wife in
class.
coach.
Yeah, she don't mind sitting coach. I do. I can't sit up there like sardines.
It's not whether she minds. It's inappropriate for a man to sit in first class and put his wife in the back.
Claustrophobia.
That's not how Christ loved the church, man. That's not exemplifying Christ's love.
I don't. How you
The
say?
bride goes first. The woman goes first. You gotta love her.
No, the man was created first. So that gives you a clue right there.
No, she's your helpmeet.
Right. So I'm gonna help her to coach.
Okay.
Do you mind going coach, babe?
If my husband's flying with me, we fly first class. But there are times when I buy the ticket. I'm the church administrator.
But if you both walk on the plane, do you feel like old school, like I'm gonna let him take it, he's the pastor, he's the bishop, he goes up.
If we bought that
your
ticket.
mindset, there's nothing, first of all, let me say this, there's no judgment here. Forget them.
No.
There's no judgment.
No,
it's how you judging. You judging. Y'all can judge. I'm not judging.
How were you gonna counsel me on to save a marriage?
I was just trying to help you. Here's the bottom line to answer your question. How was I going to counsel you in the marriage? Here's this. Remember this as long as you live, young man.
Okay.
Who's went through a devastating divorce.
Wait, did he just pull a little
listen
rank
to
on
this.
me? All right, let's go. Bring it.
I think, and this is going to help you think, many times parents want to be understood,
Yes.
but they don't want to understand. You got to be able to see through the eyes of those kids. And not the kids always seeing through the eyes and you explaining why mommy and daddy divorced.
The arrogance for you to, I mean, we've been dancing around it, but
You asked me a
the
question,
extreme
brother.
arrogance for
You
you
asked me
to.
a question, my brother.
I'll let you finish,
You
then
said,
I'll
why
finish.
is it that, I want to give you some advice on
I don't
marriage.
need advice that's ignorant. And
What's ignorant?
I've
What
listened,
part is that
we've all
ignorant,
listened
Wayne?
patiently.
What part of that is ignorance when
If
they see you and your wife
you allow me to
reconciled,
explain,
brother?
if you allow me to explain,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
tell you.
Yes, sir.
She asked you about making assumptions, and you've made assumptions.
And nobody asked me about making
assumed
assumptions.
that you know my process, and for you to
No, sir.
suggest
No, sir.
for you to suggest as if it's news that is devastating my children would imply that, number one, I don't know that.
No, I'm taking that from what you said.
Number two.
From what you said, you explained to the children. Crossed all the T's, dotted all
The
the
Bible
I's.
teaches us
That's what
certain
you
things
said.
don't require an answer. Let's carry on.
Why you gonna bring?
No,
yeah, I want to hear it too.
No.
You going good?
At certain times, silence is better.
No.
And again,
And sometimes
You're
it
too
is.
silent sometimes.
and listen,
Go ahead.
I'm not too
Let him
silent.
go ahead.
Listen.
Well, hold on.
Wayne,
I'm not
I want
identifying you,
what's best for you,
and I
my
won't say
brother.
this as a man of God,
hold on
but
one
you know, I'm in the tension between whether I'm giving pearls to pigs or not.
Yes,
As
sir.
Bishop talked about,
Yes, sir.
this is not a legal matter. It's a human matter.
Exactly. I agree.
The pressure that you saw as he described what happened 40 years ago, it still brought him to tears.
Yeah, of course.
We're talking about, for me, a little under a couple years ago. I'm good. But
No, I empathize
again,
with you, though.
the assumption that the kids weren't weighed. That everything I spent my entire life, my grandfather spent his entire life.
Assumption that what?
Hold on.
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
Hold on.
The assumption that the kids what?
Let him speak, Bishop.
I didn't understand him, Dietrich.
We trying
Okay.
to get
What
understanding.
did you say? The understanding that the kids what?
Go
The
ahead, Wayne.
assumption that, again, wrestling with whether my call at times would still be validated. Bishop said years ago, he said, God deals with you based on your heart, but we traffic in a currency that is both horizontal and vertically. I'm vertical. I'm adding to that a little bit. He said, but people deal with you based on your reputation, whether it's true or not, based on opinion. Doesn't make that, for us to make that decision.
Yes.
It's, again, not being disrespectful, but it's presumptuous, arrogant, and I say this not to diminish your intelligence, but I say ignorant.
Different strokes for different folks.
Sin
Put it
is
right
sin.
there.
Sin is sin. Ain't no
Thank you,
different
babe.
stroke for different folks in sin.
Talk to
That
them
wasn't
why
the
they
question.
created this
That
show.
wasn't the
Don't
question.
ever bring me back again.
Not being disrespectful, but it's presumptuous, arrogant, and I say this not to diminish your intelligence, but I say ignorant to, again, what's gone into it. And a better posture would be humility. You've never asked one time, what happened? There may be, you don't know if there were
That's true.
you don't know if there were biblical grounds for what happened.
Why don't you tell me then?
No, this is
There's boundaries. There's boundaries.
Let me give you more Bible. Even if that were the case, which it wasn't. If it were the case,
What? It wasn't. It wasn't.
it was not infidelity.
It wasn't infidelity.
It wasn't abuse.
Yeah.
But if it were the case,
And I know it wasn't infidelity,
without your
'cause I know
knowledge,
your character.
without your knowledge, right? Joseph, when he thought Mary was unfaithful, planned to put her away quietly, which meant without fanfare, without even telling people what happened if he assumed that she cheated. A righteous man, in that case, walked away in righteousness, running the risk of public judgment.
Right. Without saying a word.
But the religious indict without understanding. And that's all I'm speaking to.
I'm not
That
religious.
there's got to be
I'm not religious.
No, that is a
Brother
religious
Cheney.
posture.
I have
Okay,
a
I'm sorry.
relationship and I'm going from biblical.
Not religious.
I'm going from a
that was
biblical
pharisaical.
foundation.
That was pharisaical.
Gun. You guys go get it. You guys go get it.
All this that we're talking and not old school, new school, and how we feel about and first ladies. How do you feel, and how did people feel when your wife Dominique was twerking on you in that video?
On my 50th birthday party, I decided to dance. And I danced all night till I couldn't dance no more. And my wife did a little light twerk. That was a little light.
It was a light twerk.
And there was no sin in me dancing and twerking with my wife. As a matter of fact, watch this. We danced all night, got up early in the morning and prayed for 200 people on a prayer call. Had church, packed house. Had church, balanced life. Now, if you really gonna make people think that you walk around speaking in tongues all day, praying all day, and you have no life outside of that, dancing, no good time with your wife, then that's false. And I think that's what people are ready to see. Stop being fake and give us the real you. Because if you can follow me when I show you who I really am, then you're following a real leader. You're following somebody you can trust. That's why preachers are public enemy #1 right now, because we being fake. We wearing masks. And when somebody give you something real, people in the outside in the world, they like, okay, that's a husband and his wife enjoying themselves.
But there's always judgment. Would you twerk at a party on the bishop or dance with your butt up against them?
So I would not twerk. But,
would you turn around backwards?
And back it up.
Back it up.
I can't. I wouldn't twerk at a party with my husband. And
would you do that? I'm just saying, would
I
y'all dance
I wouldn't
because
do that.
of what?
Really, for the most part, it's about my reputation.
Her image.
And
That's what I was saying is the difference
my
in
image.
how we...
Because, like my husband often says, I'm not new to it, I'm true to it. I've been doing this now. I've been a pastor's wife for over 36 years. I wouldn't all of a sudden just start twerking. Anybody who knows me,
Tell them why not.
that's just not the reputation that I have built. And I just...
She's not judging.
No.
That's just not her.
That's just not me.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I'm going to switch and be
Not
somebody,
judging.
because
That's our prerogative.
We were
I'm almost out of that range myself.
We were
Not at
talking
40,
about this thing, or being a preacher's wife. And what I said to my husband was, the best thing that we could do is be authentic. I love who I am in the Lord.
Not judging any
I
of
love
you.
Dance at all?
Dietrich and
at
Dominique
home.
were
You
being
don't dance in public at all?
authentic, but they got
You guys don't
I
flagged.
know there's a place where you can go dance and nobody would judge you.
Even waltzing, you would
even as
waltz?
pastor, I know that.
You know,
Where?
for
They don't know.
us,
They just don't know.
yeah,
We gotta
we
just let
have
them
a
know.
good time.
Even
My husband
ballroom?
and I do wonderful things. Now, dancing may be important to you, but dancing is not a thing with us.
Right.
But
I'm like Loretta, I can't
we
dance.
Do what,
I got
we
you. I
love
can't
what we
dance.
do.
Okay, y'all. The Lord done spoke in my
Kim?
right ear.
He said, Kim.
And the Lord said to ask Pastor Wayne, are you close to marrying your next wife?
You said close to marrying.
Marrying your next wife, are you close? Have you found anybody?
Have I found anybody?
Anybody that you even thinking about? I hear you, Jesus.
I'm definitely
I hear
thinking.
you, Lord.
I'm definitely thinking.
You think so there is somebody in the midst.
Yes.
I'm just trying to keep all the other ones off you. Lord, ask him, the Lord want to know. So somebody is close.
We're in the second quarter of the data phase, Bishop Gibson.
How many quarters you gonna have? 14? I was gonna say
No,
14
they're only 4 quarters.
Oh, and you in the second quarter.
I mean,
that means I still got a chance, Jesus. Just like a good old football game. Right there before that 2-minute warning, I'm coming on in. Do you think, as leaders, that there are things that are off limits or things that should be off limits? Leaders of faith.
Very definitely. Very definitely there are things that are off limit. I believe that whenever you are moving in a realm that hinders the flow of your thoughts, hinders the flow of your anointing, falls into immorality. And I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes, but if you're living a lifestyle that is contradistinct to what you teach and preach, then you are over the limit.
Oh, got it. That was a good, quick answer. In other words, if you're walking past a crack house, don't go in. Okay, Wayne, hit us.
Same answer. You know, I was going to do a dissertation a couple years ago, on how we as believers can transform culture. And it became apparent, I think it was Niebuhr who said, you know, explained this idea of our attempt to transform the culture that is simultaneously transforming us.
Yes.
So yes, there is a wrong. We're all navigating toward God's perfect and righteous standard, but it's not a straight line, it's a zigzagging pattern.
You keep saying zigzag. I don't know, pack of zigzag. That's what I got from that. Don't buy no zigzags. Okay, boom. I was right with you, but I understand. That's why I like you. That's why you in that second quarter. The way you broke that down. Woo! All right, Dietrich, come on.
Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. He purposed for all of us to live. I think the line is sin. Where sin's into play, that's where you go away from that. But if there's no sin, enjoy yourselves. Because, you know, it won't be no sex in heaven. No ice cream, no pizza, no dancing. None of that in heaven. He gave all that to you here on earth to have an earthly experience. So enjoy. Just keep the sin out of it.
Come on, Bishop Rob. As a leader of faith, are there certain things that are off limits or should be?
Okay, well, there's a scripture that says, we're called preachers, right? There's a scripture that says, hast thou faith, have it unto thyself. Blessed is the man that is not condemned in the thing that he allows. So what may be a sin for me may not be a sin for you. So I'm not trying to judge anybody on what you allow, because to the pure, what? All things are pure.
Yep,
so I can't draw the line on what he does, because I was a drug addict. If I drink wine, I'm gonna wanna do some heroin and smoke some dope. So I keep that vice away from me, but I'm not gonna judge him and condemn him because he drinks wine. But if I go to dinner with him, I'm not paying for the wine he drinks if I'm paying for the meal.
But sin is sin. Sin is sin for everybody. Sin is defined.
And for the record,
So,
wine is not.
well, you don't see drinking as a sin.
No, it's communion. Sin is sin,
But you don't see drinking
period.
wine as a
No,
sin.
the question she asked was, what goes over the line?
But we have to move on because we have to bring on the people that created the show, Dr. Holly Carter, of course,
all right.
and Lemuel Plummer.
Different strokes for different folks.
Sin is sin.
No, sin is sin. Ain't no
Thank you,
different
babe.
stroke for different folks in sin.
Talk to
not-
them
that wasn't
why
the
they
question.
created this
That
show.
wasn't the
Don't
question.
ever bring me back again. This is what I want to talk to Lemuel
What was that question?
and Plummer
What
and
was that
Dr.
question,
Holly
Kim?
Carter. I got some words for her. We got to bring them out because this show right here.
Well, we are back after 10 years. Myself, Dr. Holly Carter, and of course, Lemuel Plummer. And we wanted to talk to you guys about how the show came about, what's going on since the last 10 years. I know you guys have had some very heated conversations prior to this, but we kind of want to talk about the wedding special and kind of how this came about. I just want to say, maybe 10 years ago, Dietrich came to me and said, I've got this great idea. about, you know, preachers talking. Now, we all know Dietrich is a little wild and, you know, out of the box. And so he had this great idea, and I said, you know, that makes a whole lot of sense. And so I went and I kind of curated it in my head what I thought it could be. Lim and I got together, and Lim was like, oh, if you do this with me, you won't be sorry. And so here we are 10 years later with Preachers of Los Angeles, now Preachers, the Wedding Edition. But before I get into all that, or before Lim and I get into all of that, kind of talking to you guys about it, I want to say something about you. 10 years later. So we were partners 10 years ago. And, you know, Lim, very strong-willed, was cutting up so that the industry tried to say, we're going to take your table, we're going to take your chair from the table, and we're not going to let you sit down. But what he was able to do, by the grace of God and his ability and his skill and his talent, take the chair that they took away from him, and he just built his own table. And that table is called Zeus Network. So tell us a little bit about Zeus before we get into it with the gang.
Well, thank you for having me, Holly. I appreciate it. It's great to reunite with everybody. It's crazy, a reunion 10 years later. We're all here, we're all still alive, you know, which is a blessing. And it's great to see you guys. I see we don't have Bishop McClendon.
Well, what's new?
We wanted to tell your story in a real authentic way, and we were able to do that. And yeah, I mean, just seeing you guys still doing your thing. You guys have been doing some incredible things. I know your lives have changed a little bit for some folks. You know, I know you had some things going on, and you guys are actually married. Congratulations. This is great. Like, 50 years later? No, I'm just I'm kidding. Bishop, you know you're my guy. I love you. He's my role model, so, you know, I love him. Yes, and you know, I look up to you and I appreciate everything you do, and I'm so happy to see you guys still plugging away. And Dietrich, you know, you're my guy, man. You know, you still killing the game, man. Listen, I saw the twerking online. I thought it was fine. Not like that, but I'm saying, listen, come to Zeus anytime. No, I'm just joking. But no, it's so amazing to see you guys still plugging away and all the success. And Holly, I'm proud of you. Like, you got your own network. You know, congratulations, you know, and I'm happy I inspired you, and I keep inspiring you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God. look, no, I'm really proud of you, and you know, you are extremely talented, and you're a prominent leader in the faith-based space and secular media. I mean, all of the above. I think you've come so far with scripted, unscripted, and now your own network, which I think is an awesome, beautiful, amazing thing. And I know it's going to be successful, and you have my support. And you know, I can't wait to see all the wonderful content, opportunities that you provide for others behind and in front of the screen, and all the new shows that I'm sure you guys will premiere. So I'm just proud of you, man. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. It has been a journey. You know, Hollywood is, you know, being a young Black entrepreneur and running a production company we went through a lot of challenges. A lot of the shows, African-American programs that were out there were produced by white production companies who facilitated those shows. And whether it was faith-based or secular, you know, we weren't really able to tell our stories, and they didn't give us the budgets. They didn't trust us with the money. It definitely took a little bit of a toll, but when we had the opportunity to do Preachers, I think we showed them like it was a hit. You know, you guys trusted us to tell the story and to do our thing. And, you know, obviously we trusted you when we made a hit show. It was the highest rated series, and, you know, on NBC's network, Oxygen, at the time. And I think it was important for me, you know, to connect with our audience. And, you know, Zeus, you know, we're one of the top, you know, African-American streaming networks. We carved out a space, and we're getting, you know, tons of subscribers and millions of views every week. And, you know.
Tell us about that content.
So we said we were going to get to the guys.
You don't want to talk about that, guys.
Well, I came here to turn it up, guys. We need some fights happening with the preachers right now.
Absolutely not. You tried to turn it up when we were on the air back 10 years ago.
I would never try to get you guys to fight. just Bishop Jones and Bishop Gibson. No, I'm just kidding.
I respect my
my
elders.
No, we almost had a fight. We almost had a fight with Dietrich and Bishop McClendon.
Yes, we did.
That was,
yes. Okay, so some of those moments 10 years ago that really, back then went viral, that got a conversation started. I mean, anybody can, the elephant is in the room. The biggest issue that kind of got it all kicked off was you and McClendon. Talk about that moment.
I'm such a fan of his ministry.
Oh my God.
But I heard he was a diva. And so I said, no, let me meet the guy. We did the show, and the scene goes down where we're talking about money for ministry, money in exchange for ministry, right? Somebody refresh my memory.
Yeah, money.
He said, I need an entourage and I need all these things in order for me to do the ministry according to And I said, bro, you don't need all that stuff, man. He got upset with me.
Right.
Because I just told him, y'all know how straightforward I am. And he did the wrong thing. And Lemmy knows this. It's a Detroit code thing. You don't stand up and talk down to nobody in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. We never thought that anything that was out of whack would come out.
Right.
Anything that you thought should be censored, we expected you to censor.
Right.
That's why the show was so vibrant.
The elephant is in the room. The biggest issue that kind of got it all kicked off was you and McClendon. Talk about that moment.
I'm such a fan of his ministry.
Oh my God.
But I heard he was a diva. And so I said, no, let me meet the guy. We did the show, and the scene goes down where we're talking about money for ministry, money in exchange for ministry, right? Somebody refresh my memory.
Yeah, money.
He said, I need an entourage and I need all these things in order for me to do the ministry according to And I said, bro, you don't need all that stuff, man. He got upset with me.
Right.
Because I just told him, y'all know how straightforward I am. And he did the wrong thing. And Lemmy knows this. It's a Detroit code thing. You don't stand up and talk down to nobody in Detroit. And that's what he did. He would have been okay. He would have been fine if he had sat down and said all he needed to say. But you don't stand over a man.
But when he stood over you, it took it all, ran you low.
But once we got an understanding, I'm cool. I'm cool with him.
Bishop Gibson, I'm gonna move to you and ask you this. Things went haywire when you showed your gun. So how did you feel when the audiences responded to you kind of showing your gun in that episode?
I didn't feel any certain kind of way, negative or positive. I knew it's legal. And in the United States of America, they allow you to have a CCW, or certificate to carry a concealed weapon, for my protection and the protection of my wife and my property and wherever I am.
Would you put me in coach or first class? Just kidding. Okay.
Definitely first class.
Very good.
You are first class.
Okay, I receive that. that. Wayne Chaney. Now, I watched Kim, our host, kind of flirting with you,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw it. I totally saw it. I totally saw it. She wanted to add,
I did not see that.
Yeah, very affectionate, all of that good stuff. So you are now single and ready to mingle. How do you feel in this new place? I won't say ready to mingle because I don't know if you're ready to mingle or not. I don't want to assume. But how do you feel in this new place? It's different, right?
It's different. L.A. is different. It took me a while to get my sea legs, but it's a beautiful place.
We've missed you all, and I know you as an audience have missed this cast, but you can see them again because I have created a new platform, face streaming platform called MergeTV, which is simply an extension of a dream that the Lord gave me years ago to merge the sacred and the secular, and this is my ministry. Lemmy, I want to know, what do you think made this cast special?
I think it just, you guys, weren't afraid to tell your stories in an authentic, real way. And like Holly said, we had that little tag where people put you guys on a pedestal that you can't live on. But I think that, that's true. But, you guys weren't afraid to talk about real issues and, to debate about, situations that people can relate to. And I think that's what made it special. I mean, obviously it didn't get out of control, or, I don't believe the content was salacious or conflict driven. I think that, you know, it was just authentic.
One of the things we were comfortable about was the fact that Dad was
That's right.
Bishop in the Church of God in Christ,
Yeah.
and also because of Holly's background.
Yeah.
Right.
So when we would have our own discussions in private, we never thought that anything that was out of whack
Yeah.
would come out.
Right.
Anything that you thought should be censored,
Right.
we expected you to censor.
Right. Right.
And that's why
Yeah.
the show was so vibrant.
And I
because
think
we
so.
all were so comfortable.
I think you guys did a masterful job. The show itself and the arc of the show, it was redemptive, and we really appreciate that. You did amazing.
I'm just listening to you guys, and I'm not trying to talk long. I did get emotional just seeing you guys. Like we're all still alive.
Right.
And
life
you know,
is a gift.
life is a gift, and you know, it's like, you know, just seeing everybody here, and you guys are still vibrant, and we're all still connected. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I was thinking like, man, these are the people that if something really happened to me, you guys will be there praying for me and in there. So I appreciate you guys, and you know what you mean to me. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to get emotional. I'm really happy to be here with you guys, honestly. I really am, and that was a great time. So I appreciate, no matter how much success we all have, you know, you guys meant a lot to me, and you do mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you. Sorry.
I wanted Dietrich.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna put my glasses on.
I wanted Dietrich to say, you were so adamant about Bishop Noel Jones. You were like, you got to get him in the cast. There was people specifically that you recommended. A couple didn't work out, but Bishop was one of your key ideas. What was your thinking behind that?
I think Bishop Jones is one of the greatest preachers our generation have ever seen.
Yeah.
And for him to be transparent, it's like that was gold right there. Yeah. For him to let you in his life. Yeah. For young preachers like myself, watching him down through the years, now he's gonna let us in on his life, on how he thinks, what he reads, let us in his library. To me, I knew it was gonna be huge, because Bishop is just that guy. But I think everybody just being able to kind of open the iron gate for the world to come in, it was brave of all the preachers, Wayne, Ron, even Jay Hazelip, even though he's not here, Clarence, even though he's not here. It takes courage to do that, because it had never been done before. We made history.
That's right.
And I feel like today just proves that there's still more history to be made.
Before we go, I want you guys to tell us, what can we expect about this amazing wedding special?
Well, you're gonna see glamour.
Glamour.
Friends, family, my parents, my children, my husband, his children, just the beauty of it.
You're going to see even 2 dogs walking down the aisle, and especially the cadence between Bishop McClendon and Bishop Ulmer in that presentation, and I think that's going to be a marvelous thing to see. And of course, Loretta knows how to put on a show.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Well, you all, listen, it was an amazing wedding. It was beautiful. It was couture. It was fairy tale. It was lovely. I think it was absolutely lovely. And to know that you staged all of that.
And the sad part about it is, Ron didn't pay for any of it.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave that alone, because that's another conversation for another day. But I will say this. One of the things that I'm really excited for them to watch is, leading up to the wedding, was the man cave. And once again, Ron Gibson is the star of the man cave. He cut up. Cut up. But listen, it's gonna be so much fun. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be amazed at all of the beautiful concepts that Loretta has put together. But thank you so much. I think that is it for us. You know, we want you all to stay with us. Again, MergeTV, please tune in to watch the wedding special, Preachers. We're back. And if you really watch it and you really love it and you really talk about it, we might be back again. So we need you to sign up, tune in, and support. All right.
Yes,
well, I guess that means we're done.
Back. Let me tell y'all something. This has been the reunion of reunions. Do you hear me? Dr. Holly, Lemuel, Thank you so much for having me. Don't call me again. I just want to say to all of you, of course, Bishop and Loretta, I wish you all the love and laughter in your marriage, and I will see you soon, of course. Pastor Dietrich, you know, David danced until he was naked, okay? So may you and your wife keep on dancing.
Come on now.
All right, and Pastor Gibson and Lady Levette. You know, a lot of people might judge you, right? And they might say you all are judgmental. But I really appreciate your dedication to your faith.
Thank you, yes, indeed.
And your weapons. No, I love y'all. Oh, Pastor Cheney, call me. Oh, I want to say to everyone, please make sure you watch Preachers of L.A. Wedding Edition. Thank you for watching tonight.
Preachers! Everybody wants heaven, but they live in lying hell. Got the whole church judging you, hoping that you fail. How you gonna win the world if nobody wanna help?